everybody. I am Danielle Tucker. I'm a singer and member of the Mighty Untouchables and vocal coach. And I am here with my very special guest tonight. We're just kind of chatting about the singing life, the music industry, our local music community, and the young up and comers in this business have been hit so hard with the COVID-19 crisis going on, and we just wanted to get together and chat and kind of bring some good news, some inspiration. I feel like we're kind of all needing that. We're at different levels of grief, right now dealing with all of this, but there's definitely a lot of good stuff going on. So I wanted to bring Rebecca Jade on tonight to
Hi.
talk to her because she is just one of the most positive human beings I know. And I know that you're
Oh,
really going to be inspired by her.
I hope so.
Um,
I hope I can share some knowledge with encourage
yeah.
some folks. Yeah.
I don't have all of your stats memorized, so I'm going to read a few of them, but here are all of the things about Rebecca. She is an incredibly accomplished, award winning singer and songwriter. She has had a stellar couple of years. She's been touring with the Queen of Percussion, Sheila E, since 2017. This year, she appeared in the Grammy Salute to Prince that aired on CBS in April. She also sang background vocals for Sir Elton John at the 2020 Academy Awards. She has over 27 years of recording studio experience and has been singing background vocals, demos, jingles on a lot of different projects. And she was recently just featured on two of DW3's newest self titled albums that went number one on the UK soul charts this year. She has sung with some really great artists, including Aubrey Logan. She was on her second album. Rebecca Jade and the Cold Fact have earned three San Diego Music Awards, and they're up for a fourth this year. Her Cole Porter album with Peter Sprague also earned one. And this year, she is nominated for Artist of the Year, and deservedly so. And she is an actor and model. She does all the things and she does them so well. She is a graduate from UC Berkeley. She was on a full basketball scholarship. She has a degree in theater and performance and studied and earned her MBA in marketing. And like I said at the beginning, most of all, she is just a really wonderful human being. And I am so excited to be here with her tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I
Of
appreciate it.
course, we're thrilled to talk with you. So, just to get started, tell me more about you. Something that I haven't covered in your introduction. Maybe what your latest projects are, and any performances that you have coming up.
Yeah, let's see. I'm doing my second live stream concert this Saturday. It'll be on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Lady Rebecca Jade, and it's at 1:30 Pacific time. And other than that, yeah, I'm working on actually writing and co-producing my first album that's a really new venture for me. All my other records have been, collaboration projects. The Cold Fact is a whole band. There's
Hmm.
six of us, and we all write together with that. And my first one was a collaboration thing too. And but I I was curious to find out like who I am as an artist. Who is Rebecca Jade, and what kind of ideas do I have if I didn't have to really rely on too many other people, and it's been really interesting, and to explore that. And I have a good friend of mine, who's um, helping me find my vision. His name's Carnell Harrell. He's an LA piano player, keyboardist and producer. And it's been really great going back and forth with him. And, I, because I don't really play an instrument, it's been great to have somebody that's there who goes, well, is this what you want? You know, and just been learning to decipher my code, you know,
Yeah.
my singer code a little bit. So it's been really cool. It's been a long process also because of that, you know, because it's like, you know, of course, so many things, you know, second guessing, and it's like, does it sound good? Oh my gosh, you know, and then it's like, no, just if you like it, like go with it. You know, if it feels good to you, go with it. So I'm trying to trust that element within myself, you know. So it's been really interesting process, but I'm so glad I'm doing it. I feel very driven to complete. I meaning like I don't think I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like I need to explore this side, whether it just crashes and burns. I don't care. I need to see it through. You know. So
Yeah. That's awesome. And how are you guys handling that amidst all of this? Are you just doing a lot of back and forth online, or are you like meeting in a meeting room like this? And how's that working?
so far it's just been via emails and like we're talking on the phone. And initially, so the first we have 4 songs done from the project, and that was all, of course, before all this had happened. So I want all live instrumentation. So, and I wanted to see, you know, we went back and forth initially about do we have everybody in the room together? I wanted to go that route, and just because I feel like you can kind of vibe off of each other and that kind of thing. And but I know many people do it both ways. You could be in the room together, or people just record remotely. So initially, my my desire was that we all were in the same room together, you know, the rhythm
Mm-hmm.
section's recording, and then I'll lay down some scratch vocals while they play, and then I'll go back and re-record my vocals. But at least the band is like getting tight. And so when the COVID deal started, I was able to at least get the ball rolling on getting the music mixed, because they weren't mixed yet, the 4 songs. So that was easy enough to send away to somebody. That's something that could be done, you know, remotely, which is great. Now that those songs are ready to, 4 songs are done and ready to go, it's like, okay, now what next? Do I wait till all this COVID stuff is over? I was like, nah, you know, I literally texted Carnell the other day and was like, I don't think we can wait. You know, it's like we don't know how long this is going to go for, and you know, it's like, why wait? I know people do it remotely, so let's explore doing it remotely. So we literally spoke about that maybe 2 days ago. And so we're going to explore that. And the musicians, you know, especially with everything that's happening now, a lot of people are recording at home, so they're fine tuning their abilities and the stuff. You know, people were recording from home already, you know, before all this had happened. So people are, they're, it sounds really good. A lot of stuff sounds really good. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna explore that option now for the next group of songs. Probably the next 2 or 3 songs, we're gonna explore it that way and see
Yeah.
how it goes.
That's cool. I love that you said that too, because I think I'm really on that wavelength now where um, we can't really be living in this mindset of, I'm going to do this, this, or this when this is over, because, like you said, it's so unpredictable. It's very, very difficult to put a finger on, when we'll be back doing what we were doing. So, on the positive side of things, we're lucky that we do have the technology that we have now. Imagine a couple of years ago when we didn't have the ability to do any of this stuff.
Yes.
And as musicians, we're just kind of being kicked out of the nest technology wise. And I think
Totally.
technology is like, coming along quicker than it ever has. And so this is going to be, it's just, when we are back out performing live too, it's going to be another thing, another channel that we can utilize
Completely.
to stay creative.
Well, that's the thing. It's funny. I had all the components I needed, you know, to record from home, and because life has been busy, and you know, we're gigging and traveling and all that stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll get to it. Oh, I really want to be able to record from home, but I'll get to
Yeah.
it. Well, this whole deal has allowed a lot of people to catch up on things, and that was one of them for me, was to be able to figure out how to record from home, you know.
Yeah.
And I got some help from some friends, and got it figured out. And so now I'm able to record from home. And the cool thing, like you said, is now it's another arsenal in our kit. It's
Yeah.
like once this is over, which I do believe it'll be over at some point,
Yeah.
um, and we'll just get back to it, and it'll be like, oh, by the way, yeah, I can record from home too if you need some background vocals or blah 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 blah, So
Yeah.
so
Yep. That's
evolve.
great. So you do have a home recording studio, and how is that set up for you?
It's
What
pretty
have you
cool.
added recently?
Funny enough, I don't have it set up right now because it's not pretty, but I bought one of those. You know how you've been in the studio many times when they do vocals, they have the little kind of the little panels, where kind of
Yeah.
the vocal booth. So I bought one of those like dividers off of Amazon. It's like a
Nice.
like a three folded, but it's big. It's like what is
Uh-huh.
that? 3 feet. 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. So it's like 9 feet wide,
Uh-huh.
and then I put moving blankets over it, and I just I just enfold myself in it. So once it's up, it's pretty
Yeah.
big, but it's perfect because it's
Yeah.
about 5, 6 feet tall, and I just put myself right in it.
That's
It's really
awesome.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's really neat.
I'm totally in the same boat where I am just kind of like piecemealing things together, and um thank God for like sound engineer friends and
Yes,
YouTube
yes,
for the ability.
totally, totally.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
So, I have a lot of questions for you, but I just wanted to mention that everybody that's joining us on Facebook Live, we'd love to take any questions from you too. I'll keep an eye on the chat here and um, throw some questions at Rebecca from there. But let's just kind of start with maybe how the last couple months have been for you, because you are coming into this after having just a remarkable year, and you are, just probably the hardest working singer I know, and your schedule was so active. And for it to come to such an abrupt change in pace, what has this been like for you?
Well, it's been bittersweet, of course. I love performing, and had so many things in the books. I was supposed to be leaving next week for Amsterdam,
Oh yeah.
Dave Cause cruise.
Mm.
That was supposed to be coming up, and I was en route when a cruise got canceled. I was doing this smooth jazz cruise, and I was en route, literally on the flight to Florida when I got a message saying that the cruise was canceled.
Oh my God.
So it went from like having a lot of really cool things that were happening to a complete halt,
Mm.
and gigs, of course, left and right were just canceled. And so yeah, financially it takes quite a hit when you're already planning on some money that it's like it's not going to cancel. These things are pretty much guaranteed. um Little did we know, no
Yes.
guarantees in life. What do they say? No guarantees in life but death and taxes. So
Right.
so I you know um the first couple weeks, I think I was like, um I wanted to take advantage of the time. And that's when we started doing the mixing of the songs and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of, for me personally, I know it's different for everybody.
Mhm.
And some people have been tremendously adversely affected by it.
Yeah.
And my hearts go out to them big, big time, especially the artist community and, food service community, all that. And so for me personally, I was like, okay, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't sulk about it. I'm just gonna take it for what it is. And it's like, okay, this is a time where I can take a pause. I haven't really had this many days off in a row before.
Right.
So it kind of, initially, like I said, was just about like, okay, I think, you know, this will only be a couple of weeks. Let me take advantage of it, and just really be, rest my voice and just
Mhm.
those kind of things. Rest my skin because we have makeup
Yeah.
on every day. Whitney Shea mentioned that the other day or a couple weeks ago. We were on a chat because we were doing something for Easter, And she was like, how's your skin? I was like, man, I think it's actually pretty good because we're not putting makeup on it all the time.
So
So
true.
yeah, so like those kind of things, it's I mean, in the big scheme of things, it's really minuscule, but I don't know, and just the bigger picture thing for me personally, I was really just like, okay, I'll take these few days a- as a time for myself. Now it ended up being many more days than that, and now that it's, we're kind of getting into it even deeper, it's like, okay, well, I'm not sitting on my hands, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sulking, I'm not being, like, what was me. I'm trying to just keep hustling. I've been still as busy as ever because I'm here. I'm sending out emails. I've applied for so many grants,
Hmm.
apply for unemployment, all these things, they take time, and you kind of have to be diligent about it,
Yeah.
that, and then also recording, and then also, it's so many levels, you know.
It's so so true. I know I really felt the same way, and the first couple weeks I had really dove into playing piano, which I have severely neglected for ever. So I'm really happy. I did like several online courses that I had paid for years ago, and I tackled those. But
Wonderful. See,
yeah, yeah. But
yes.
I get it. Now that significantly more time has gone by, now I'm really starting to think. I'm got plenty to stay busy with, but I really think as musicians, like I said, I think we do have to be out of that mindset of doing anything um, when this is over type
Right.
mentality. So what what would you say? How are you predicting things are going to go down in the near future? Are you like when? If you had to guess, what would you say our time frame would be for going back and performing live with an audience? And also, what do you think are the possibilities of really making a living doing our music online?
um I think it's probably going to still be quite a while before we get to perform.
Hmm.
If I had to gander a guess, I would say maybe September,
Hmm.
October, realistically, because I certainly hope it's not that long. I hope I'm way wrong,
I
but
know.
I'm almost kind of like just prepping my mind for that kind of
Worst case
time.
scenario, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I think we'll have to be creative in, I think some people are being very successful in the online live streams, but what if it's people who haven't really, I say only, I'm not trying to downplay it, but that they only play local gigs,
Yeah.
and maybe don't have a big following, or how do they get people to tune in, if it's I think it's different if you have 10 people tuning in, or 100 people tuning in who want, what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
so I think it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for some on the live stream, but I think it's doable.
Yeah.
I think it's worth exploring. um, I don't know, like marketing techniques maybe that can help you get more of a flow,
Hmm.
more driving traffic your way. I think it's gonna we're creative beings by nature as it is, so this is just gonna be, I think, another way, another angle of approaching it, and drawing that traffic, and also giving lessons online. There's gonna have to be a lot of adjustments, I think, but it's doable. I feel you want it, and if you want it, if you want it enough, you'll figure out a way. You'll figure out a way.
Yeah.
How about
I totally agree. And I think, um, now is that time to really be open minded about what channels you're willing to explore. Like you said, teaching, doing things like that, or really jumping into songwriting, learning about licensing, and
Yes,
uh,
what I'm trying to do right now too.
yeah. I think that there are a lot more opportunities to make money than people know, and I just really hope that everyone will be really proactive about it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a list maker and a journaler when I when I need to
List
figure
maker.
it out.
Yes.
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 So I
Yeah.
think it's a great time to sit down and just write out what you're good at, where where are all of those avenues, and start doing the research on how you can get involved in those things in the meantime. And I think in the near future there's going to be a lot of creative things that show up, some things that we're totally not expecting are going to emerge. And I just have that complete belief that
To
those
this
things are.
this is the even though it's a horrible time for a lot of people, I think this is a place where we can break out of the norm, which is uh dang, what's that saying on inspiration? No, I'm drawing a blank on it, but basically it's like things are created out
Yeah.
of hard times, out of necessity.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on the saying, but that's and I think we will be better for it once we get through all this. I would like to believe that.
I know. I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. Um, so how are you taking care of yourself during all of this? Like, what are your just kind of self-care routines, and vocally, how are you taking care of yourself?
Um,
I know you're very athletic.
yeah, well, I for a while it's been funny. It's funny because I was doing really good. I was working out a lot, before all this happened, and then I kind of fell off once this all happened. I fell off of it a little bit, but it's okay. I still am pretty active. I was doing this really nice simple workout here at home, and um but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm not taking it I'm not going too crazy one way or the other.
Hmm.
Um, and as far as taking care of my voice, I think, I'm trying to find a fine line because I try to sing a little bit every day. I do some warm ups, especially if I'm going to sing like at church or something. And, but, um, yeah, overall it's actually been interesting giving my voice some rest, finding, like what I said, like finding that happy balance, because I don't want to not sing at all, because then you can get rusty. It's literally a muscle and you don't want it to get
Yes.
rusty either, um so yeah, I've been trying to just get adequate sleep, and I haven't really been doing anything specific. I've just been
Hmm.
overall just being, making sure I get out and get a little bit of sun. I think that's
Yeah.
been like that's the last couple of days, because I've been I'll forget that I'm trying to really honor this staying at home as much as possible, and I'll forget that, oh yeah, I need to bring a mask because I haven't been outside for 4 days,
Yeah.
or three
Yeah.
days. So last couple of days I've been going out, going outside and just soaking up some sun, because it's like I gotta be careful, you gotta still be in the nature and whatnot as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I'm kind of just now coming around to like, okay, it's time to start taking better care of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Like
Do you
I
have
was doing good at the beginning of all this, I was like, okay, I have time. I'm just gonna work out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so chocolate chip cookies,
Yes.
anybody? So.
I know.
But I'm trying to, I'm trying not to go off the deep end too far, just enjoy, have some leniency with myself. But at the end of the day, it's time to come back to it, come
Yeah.
back around and really take care of yourselves. And so we're not so where is it? There's a meme talking about like we're eating so much that once this quarantine's over, how are we going to literally get out the house, because
Right.
we can't fit through the door. So, so I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm so curious about is so as performers we're kind of used to our bodies going into this like high adrenaline mode because of the performance thing, and we're used to that happening to our bodies, and
Right.
having so much like aerobic activity or whatever, I guess depending upon what kind of show you do, right?
Mhm, right.
But definitely, if you're doing one, two, or 4 nights a week, you really have a lot of adrenaline surging in your body. And I wonder, for myself, I'm like, gosh, just chemistry wise, how much is my body changing because I don't have that right now? And
Mhm.
I'm very painfully aware too of how much of my aerobic activity I leaned on performing for.
Right. No, totally. That it's you work a different part of your body, but like overall, you're not sitting there doing squats and stuff, but you have to keep a level of energy when you perform.
Yeah.
And and you want to be sharp, and you want to be able to hold those notes and hit those notes, and and that's all like this muscle memory that's happening. So if you're not doing that anymore, it's a scary, thought that, you know, might lose that, but you won't, and we won't. It's just still,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're back in.
Um, what would you say? I guess maybe backing up a little bit just to kind of your history as a singer. You've been in the music industry, I think you said over 27 years singing professionally. When did you start working professionally? What age were you?
Well, I started recording when I was pretty young. I've had I think my first attempt at doing a project, I was like 12 or 13. That was my first time working with a producer, and and I didn't start, though. I never worked in a with a professional band until I came home from college.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I was able, and so that, and then I was able, then I did it full time a few years after that. So I've been a full time musician, singer since 2007, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been exposed to it and recording and being around it my whole life. And then, but being starting to try to consider it as a career. Like I said, I was like naively at 12 years old, and then I was in a girl group at 14 or 15. I was a three-girl singing group at 15. We were
Yeah.
trying to make it, and that didn't pan out. And then I was doing another project with a local producer friend of mine, and that was, in the works. And I had just come home from college, and I just met my husband, to be, and we, and then I'm starting to work on this project, and then that fell through. And then, but at the same time is when I met the person who would become my mentor, Kamal Kenyatta,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's when I met him. But and that's thanks to Damian Willis, who connected that. That's my boy Damian, who made that connection. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying I think I was about. I don't know if I'm really answering the question because but it's, I didn't start it really professionally until I came home from college, which was like 2002.
Mm-hmm.
But I had lots of experience prior to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of you found some mentorship, to get involved, but you also come from a musical family. Your mom is a singer too.
Yep.
Um, what was that relationship like with her? Did she kind of really encourage you into music when you were little, or was she a stage mom
No,
or anything like that?
no, it's funny you say that too, because we were together uh for Mother's Day briefly. She came and we sang together at church that morning,
Yeah.
and so afterward we're kind of talking a little bit. We couldn't go for lunch because like we usually do,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But and we were talking about that. She's like, I don't think, she's like, was I like a stage mom for you? I was like, I don't think so. And she's like, I don't think so either. And she wasn't. It was more like, she exposed me to a lot of things, but she never forced me to do anything like that. She was just like, if you want to sing, cool. She for I was singing at a very young age. And what I think some people might from the perspective of somebody who's been singing from a young age, and I don't know if I would assume you have been as well, but when you're little, you don't know that other people don't sing. Because you've been doing it your whole life, you just assume maybe that's just something everybody does. So it wasn't until I was older and I was like, oh, wait a minute, not everybody can sing. It's not like a thing that everybody does. And so I was, so I've been singing for my whole life, but I was also very athletic as a kid too. So I had this like kind of dual life. It was like I was in church choir and I was on the swim team, and then I was, in the youth plays, and then I was on the tennis team or swim, softball or baseball team. And and that was been my whole life, was growing up and just always being in the arts in some way, and also sports. Um so yeah, and she was just like, do it all. That was her mentality for me, is like, I'm not forcing you to do one thing or another. It's like whatever you get drawn to. And I truly appreciate that, flexibility, and it allowed me to explore different things that I liked and didn't like. And I did a bunch of different sports. And then it wasn't until I started playing basketball in high school that I fell in love with basketball. And then that was like it. But if it wasn't for me trying all these other things, I don't think I, or had the openness from her, and her blessing to be creative and be open to exploring different things. I don't know. I don't know if it would have led me to this route, or maybe it would have eventually. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but her openness to, and not, it's funny. She didn't force me to do it, and I went down her same path almost identically.
Yeah.
So she didn't force me. She used to be a model, one of the top models in Boston before I was born. It's a few years before I was born, and she put herself. I have to ask her for sure, but I think she put herself through college singing in a band. I mean, and then here I am singing, singing in bands, and she did a tour and stuff like that. She took a pause, like 6 months out of her second or third year of college, to do a tour. And after the tour she came back home and finished her, was still able to graduate with her class. But she took a pause to go do a tour, a road tour,
Yeah.
doing music, and she was a model. And so I grew up just seeing it, but not being forced to buy it. And I ended up following in her footsteps still. It was just
Yeah.
been cool, really cool.
It really is. Um, I want to ask you about paying your dues in this business. And you mentioned that, starting from a really young age, you had these projects come up, doing a girl group and things falling through. And, inevitably that there is a string of that in our careers, and things don't work out, the way we foresee them going. But one thing that I always tell young singers is that if I look back on my own career and just life in general, I find it remarkable how one little thing will lead to another, will lead to another. And then you find yourself somewhere down the road in a major project, or, a life altering project. And you can recount back to the smallest seed that, was planted. So I'm sure things have, worked out for you like that as well. But what would your advice be to a young singer who, really wants to get into the business but doesn't have any experience yet? What would you suggest? Where should they start, and what should they expect? you know?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I mean, maybe it's the same thing as I think it depends on so many factors. Is it really, first of all, is it really something you want? You
Mhm.
know, um,
Yeah.
and and if you want to even just explore it, then you're not sure if you want it, or if you can do it. Because I have to be honest, there was a point in my early part where I was like, who am I kidding? Like, there's so many talented people out there. Who am I to be able to make a living doing this?
Yeah.
And it really took, because I've been singing my whole life, but then there's a shift of like doing this as a profession, like what, so and it really took the support of my family. It was I think taking on, having that mentor, somebody who was willing to take me on and guide me. And that's what Kamau was for me. And so if there's somebody that you vibe with, that you just, you know, there's like saying, I'm horrible, totally misquoting all these phrases, but but, what they say, like, don't be the smartest person in the room. Like, you really have to, if you want to reach that goal, you have to put yourself around like-minded people who are in that goal, or are already, are steps closer to that goal. So I would really recommend having somebody, or even some bodies, plural. It doesn't have to be just one person. It's great to have different different people that are in the same scene, but they'll have different perspectives. When I was I'm sorry, my brain's going all over the place because I'm thinking about another one of the little seeds that you talked about, and that was because of my mentor. Kamau, I'll tell you the story anyway, so it'll be quick. Kamau was the piano player for one of the piano players for the house band at Anthology. You remember Anthology?
Yeah.
So he was the piano player, and he goes, "Hey, you should come to the rehearsals. There's this new club that's opening up. It's it's not even open yet. Literally, we fast forward and we walked through when they were still putting the seats in on the wood and stuffing them. I mean, there was still bones, before, So anyway, he goes, "Hey, you should come to this rehearsal. They have a girl who's going to be another gal who's going to be the lead singer for the house band, but she's from Orange County. Maybe there's gonna be times she can't make it, so you should just be there, Okay, whatever you say, because I really hold Kamau in such a high regard, and I trust him, and he knows, I don't know, I just trust him. I know he knows more than I do, and I just say yes, it's like, okay, he says show up, I'm gonna show up to this. So I went to every rehearsal, and the other girl didn't show up once, not once. And the band leader was like, "Well, as far as I'm concerned, Rebecca, you're the singer in the house band." And that's how I got the gig. And I've been the singer, and I was the singer for the house band from the day the doors opened to the day the doors closed, and I truly attribute that to Kamau, and saying, him just saying, it could have failed. It could have been nothing. It could have just been, okay, well, cool. I'll maybe fill in a couple times here and there. And, so that's just my way of showing, like, having somebody who sees your potential and just supports you. And it's like, I didn't pay for that. You know what I mean? He did that and just saw, like, this is a possible opportunity. And that's how that little seed led to me being in the house band there, and then blah, 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 blah. And it just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just so crazy. So I would say my long-winded answer is, help if you can. Try to find somebody, a mentor, that's willing to show you some steps. And then I say just immerse yourself in the scene. Even if you don't feel comfortable yet, but just go and meet people at, I don't know, gigs, meet them at jam sessions, get comfortable singing in front of people, if you're a singer or whatever, if you play an instrument, I think that's a good place to start. I think.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think it's great. Yeah. And I love too, your story about that. Obviously you have a great work ethic, and I'm curious. Well, we know a lot of the same musicians in town, and we're always crossing paths and everything. And one thing I can say about you, Rebecca, is that you're so well respected. Anybody that, when your name comes up in a conversation, people just love you. They sing your praises. And it's so well deserved. And I think, a lot of it has to do with just your level of integrity and the way you are as a professional. But what would you say are those key things to earning such a great reputation as a professional? Like, what are some of your, core beliefs around that? And
I would say a couple of them. One is reputation is extremely important,
Mhm.
like extremely important. And you can still be successful and have some flaws, and not be perfect. Everybody, knows that. But I think if you overall have just keep in mind that your reputation is so important. So I try to be, I want people to know they can rely on me. I want people to know that, hey, we're going to do these songs. I'm prepared. Um, um, I think it also comes down to singers have had a bad rap in the sense that, you know, I think there's a level of some musicians, not all, but some probably don't respect singers as well because we maybe aren't prepared, or we think that you were just singing. No, you really need to take your job seriously. So know what key you sing your songs.
Mhm.
Like singers, know your keys, please. Like that helps the musicians go, oh, she knows what she's talking about, instead of being like, oh, you just whatever key. That sounds so unprofessional, and that you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Mhm.
like certain things. And as you're coming up, know that people are willing to help you more if you are wanting to help yourself.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, just don't be a diva, don't be or divo, I like to say for guys.
Mhm.
Don't be that. You have to earn the respect of your fellow musicians. um do the work. And I used to, God, when I was in the band called Crush, before it became Sirens Crush, um, I used to like, this is so funny. Um, the singers used to have a bad rap because we were always the last ones. I mean, sorry, the last ones to show up and the first ones to leave, right? And and I would be like, before I would leave, and I was really close with the drummer, Richard. And I would help him pack up his drums,
Oh,
and just that kind of thing. Like, who needs help? Does anybody need help? You know what I mean? That kind of, like, I think giving of yourself and not being like, cool, my job's over, bye. Like,
yeah.
like have that sense of humility and like humbleness to be a team player. And I don't know if that just comes from playing sports my whole life, but like I think that is so important, and that comes across as building parts of your character. Like, don't just be selfish and, I did my job and bye. Like and the more you are in a band and working with people, the more you realize it's such a family. And so you don't want to
Mhm.
leave your auntie or uncle or cousin, like, you know, on the side of the road or something like that. It's just kind of the same way, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it's just,
Yeah.
it becomes a family thing. And I think as a singer, to help keep building that reputation for yourself, like, just be helpful, communicate well, and I would also say take advantage of any opportunity to just further yourself. When I was in the house band at Anthology, I had at that point I had never I had never I'd never really been in a band, I'd been in a few bands, so I'm just kind of building up my reputation and my repertoire and all that stuff. But I wanted to learn what it was to be a band leader. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this is like an evolution, you know what I mean? And I was like, I wonder what it's like. So I actually started my own band from that, and I wanted to know what it was like. And I had to learn how to make set lists and talk to coordinators and all that stuff. And that's stuff that I still am I'm grateful that I've had that experience, and I still do it now. But you know what I mean? Like, so I'm pushing the envelope. You don't just go, okay, I'm singing and then that's it. Like, how can you evolve? I think evolving is probably the key. Be willing to evolve, but it'll come over time.
Right, right. Right. Now, I think bottom line, people want to work with people they like. I mean, that is just, you can be the best singer, you can be the best guitar player, pianist, but if you are an asshat, you're not going to work a
Yeah,
lot.
so
People just,
true.
that you spend so much time together, you know, on gigs and
Yeah,
rehearsing and stuff like that. And you just want to be with those people that you just naturally crave to be with, you know, and that you can
totally.
have a good time with. And so
About
I,
the hang. I'm telling you,
yeah,
I've
it's
heard
all to
that.
the
I've heard
hang.
that phrase numerous times, time and time again. It's about the hang. So, can
Yeah.
I spend 4 hours, or can I go on the road with this person? Do I want to tolerate them? We go to dinner or whatever, you know, as a band, or we're in the green room together. Like, is it going to be a weird vibe? I don't want that. I
Yeah.
don't want that. So, I would rather work with somebody who's less qualified, but is more fun to hang with, you
Yep.
know, because that's going to reflect on stage, right?
100%.
You're
And
totally right to bring that up.
yeah, and just to also on the reputation thing too, it is so important in this business because it's really incredible how easy it is to get a bad rap.
Mhm.
And you know, there's so much conversation that happens in a green room or during, you know, load in and tear
Yeah.
down and everything. And all it takes is one musician to mention like, oh, you know, this person like showed up an hour late, or they
Right.
they ghosted me, or they, you know, they
Right.
didn't do their homework, you know, for the gig.
Right.
And then when an opportunity comes up, you're not going to get called, you know. And it's just so
Totally.
you always have to be um you know, really conscientious of, you know, the way you're conducting yourself with everybody, not just the people who you think are going to, you know, give you great
Totally.
opportunities. It's everybody. Just be a
Everybody.
good human.
Yeah, seriously. That'll go so much farther in your life and in any craft or any,
Yeah.
you know, business you decide to go in. Like, just be a nice person, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll give my own plug here for a program on Monday night. I'm teaching a master class for Magnolia Music Studio, and the title of the class is "Don't Be That Singer," and it's it's all circled around this stuff. And so I kind of go into detail on like, you know, what are those things that that good professional habits that you can really build a long career on, you know. So that's Monday night.
Great.
That event is posted on my Facebook page, so you can see that there. But
Fabulous.
yeah, I could talk to you forever and ever, but I, you know, I want to let you go, and I value your time so much, and I so appreciate you doing this with me. I hope we'll do it again soon.
I would love that. Thank you
Yeah,
for
but
having me.
I want you to talk again about the show that you're doing on Saturday, where everybody can find that information, what everybody can expect. I, by the way, before you say, I saw your last one and I loved it. It was so good. You did it so well. The songs were amazing, and it just it's so worth the time to, you know, catch your
Thank you.
show.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, I'm going to do it on Facebook, live streaming, and it'll be on facebook.com/Lady Rebecca Jade, which is my music page.
Okay.
And it'll be at 1:30
Hmm.
Pacific time. And and what's cool about this one is two things. We're going to do all songs that were requested from the first show.
Oh, cool.
So we're gonna do this one's all requests. The first show we did was basically like just kind of songs I wanted to do and just kind of breaking the ice, and because since I had never done a live stream concert before that one. And so this one, I was like, hey, you know, let us know if you have any requests. And we had a ton of requests come in. So we picked our whole set out of song requests from everybody that tuned in. So I'm really excited about that. And then I also have a friend who's going to come over and set up the whole live streaming. And so I think the video and the audio is hopefully going to be even better. So I'm
Nice.
really excited about that. And yeah, and it'll be fun. And my friend John Harford's going to be on guitar again, and it'll just be the two of us. And I'm really excited. You know, I'm doing a
Yeah.
song I have never done before, that I've been wanting to learn, and I never learned. It just didn't come across an opportunity to learn it. And so I'm doing a special song by request I've never done before. I'm really excited about that.
Oh,
I'll leave that, you know, as some hopefully enticing
mystery.
mystery. Yeah.
Well, I will definitely be watching, and I will share the information from my page too, so you can find her there as well. But again, I love you so
I
much,
love
and
you so much.
I'm so proud of you all the time, and you constantly inspire me. And I hope that our conversation tonight brings some inspiration and just some encouragement to all our fellow singers and musicians out there, and those of you that are trying to break into the business. It is tough times, but there's a lot of good stuff in store for us, and I think we all just got to stick together and help one another. And we'll get through it, and we will be better on the other side of it. I really do believe that.
Me too.
So everybody go and see Rebecca's show on Saturday. What time is it at again?
1:30 p.m.
Ooh, little like brunch hour one.
That's right. Go get some
Get your
mimosas.
mimosas.
That's right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All
Definitely.
right.
I love
Well,
you. Thank you so
me
much.
too. Yeah. So everybody share this out to, friends that you think that might be encouraged by this. And we really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye.